Welcome back to the channel, everybody, where we try to wake everybody up. Make sure if you enjoy the content, you like and subscribe. Helps me out with the algorithm. Let's run it.
I had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face in one-on-one. He said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. I said, can you expand upon that? He said, no, I can't. About a year later, we were talking about, again, activities at Groom Lake. And I asked him, I said, you know, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, there's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until the year 2025. But we have things in the Nevada desert that would make George Lucas envy.
And I'm not saying it's a coincidence or anything like that, but it is 2025, and we keep getting more and more information on a regular basis. So old footage like that is really intriguing to me. I think if we find a lot more old footage like that, we can probably get a little bit more information than what the new media gives us. So I like it.
I did not go to medical school.
I'm sorry?
I did not go to medical school.
That's what I thought. Why do you think you or anyone else at Twitter had the medical expertise to censor a doctor's expert opinion?
Our policies regarding COVID were designed to protect individuals. We were seeing...
You guys censored Harvard-educated doctors, Stanford-educated doctors, doctors that are educated in the best places in the world, and you silenced those voices. Did the U.S. government ever contact you or anyone at Twitter to pressure Twitter to moderate or censor certain tweets? Yes or no?
We have a program.
Did the U.S. government ever contact you or anyone at Twitter to censor or moderate certain tweets? Yes or no?
We receive legal demands to remove content from the platform from the U.S. government and governments all around the world. Those are published on a third-party website, and anyone can review.
Thank God for Matt Taibbi. Thank God for Elon Musk for allowing to show us in the world that Twitter was basically a subsidiary of the FBI, censoring real medical voices with real expertise that put real Americans' lives in danger because they didn't have that information.
I just want to know when we're going to start arresting people. Like, why is Fauci still walking around? That's interesting, you know? Vaccines were BS. How people were dying were BS. There's stuff coming out new, every 2 weeks at this point, probably? I just want to see something getting done about it. You can hear a new story every 10 minutes if you look hard enough, but I want to see somebody start making some moves, really.
They tell us the truth in plain sight.
Smile I've ever seen out of Mark Zuckerberg.
So the song Shake It Off was about how I shed my skin every 1,000 years. And the song Bad Blood was about how I drink blood out of my Grammys.
A toast to blood. Save some blood for Paul Rudd.
Begins at the dawn of history. The birth of the very first society begat the need for the very first secret society. A fraction of early humans were born smarter than their fellow cavemen. And if they would not listen to reason, perhaps they would listen to a higher power. And thus, the Order of the Black Robes was born.
Operating from the shadows using secret knowledge, we and our descendants kept watch over all of human history.
Well, not to point out the obvious, but fire, plague, acts. If you're watching over us, why didn't you stop these things?
Stop them. We unleashed them.
Threw that one in there because it's creepy. They're always putting stuff in movies and TV shows, animated stuff, even for kids, especially for kids. I may start watching it just to see what's in there, to see if there's any snippets of things that are weird, like explainably weird. I can't wait to figure out how I'm going to get myself over to the pyramids and climb and take pictures and do all the stuff I'm not supposed to be doing, because that's going to be fun. Second of all, NASA owns the rights to the pyramids of Giza. A lot of people don't know that. How do you own the rights to the largest, weirdest monuments we have on the planet? How do you even buy them? Who even decides that you can even buy stuff like that? Like, what's happening? Why don't people really ask those questions and consider the repercussions of allowing corporations that steal our tax money buy property of that magnitude and say, hey, it's mine? It's stupid. Absolutely stupid.
What's the thing with Barron Trump? Have you heard that?
Oh yeah, like, that's nuts too.
That's wild.
Find that one. That one's nuts too. That one's completely bizarre.
There's a series of books from, like, I think it's the late 1800s or something.
Yeah.
About, yeah, it's just 1900 here, but it's like a person named Barron Trump goes on these adventures, gets a guy from Manhattan to be his, like, guide. It's very strange and very similar to, like, what...
See if you can find what the synopsis, like, what connects it to Barron Trump. It seems real weird.
The book is called The Last President.
The Last President. That's kind of crazy. Because if the shit hits the fan and the aliens land, he is the last president. An 1889 novel called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey was written by Ingersoll Lockwood. He would go on to write another book called The Last President in 1900. This mystery which involves the Trump family, Nikola Tesla, time travel, and dark forces.
Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
A castle called Castle Trump.
So he's follows the adventures of a young aristocrat named Barron Trump living in a castle named Castle Trump, which is fucking crazy. The character is described as intelligent, curious, and somewhat arrogant, guided by his mentor Dawn. Barron embarks on fantastical journeys, including one to discover a magical portal in Russia.
I think them books need to be studied. I think we need to do a whole segment on those books, break them down, read them, maybe make a pop-up book. Not sure, but wouldn't it be pretty sick if there was some kind of time traveling reason why Trump is doing what he's doing and his kid is who his kid is? If you have the links to those books or know where to get them, send them my way and I'll read them.
The victims are easily picked up. They are wandering teenagers looking for a good time, runaways, skid row bums, paper boys, paper girls. You can go out to the street the day before or the day during, pick up that child, drug him or whoever you want to, get him ready for the ceremony, and at that time, they will slice the person's throat open, pick up the blood in a chalice, because they believe that the power in the blood will add to them.
Please let him speak.
Sharon Tate LaBianca's murder, was a witch's hitting. Sharon Tate wanted out, but the thing is, the Illuminati...
What do you mean she wanted out? She was a witch?
Yes, she was tired of it. She wanted to get out, but
Sharon
the thing
Tate
is...
was a witch, okay.
But the thing is...
You base those allegations on what?
On when I was in, myself. I'm not the only one who knows this information. Anybody who was in witchcraft during that time can tell you the same thing. What happened
That Sharon Tate was a practicing witch?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the Illuminati...
I have no information to refute it, so I'm only going on what you're saying.
The Illuminati sent Charles Manson in to kill her. If you remember, she was killed. One leg was strung up from the rafter, her hands behind her, her throat sliced open. There was a tarot, 78 cards in a tarot deck. You look at the 12th major arcana one, it looks like the Hanged Man. That's exactly how Sharon Tate LaBianca was left. Charles Manson did not go into prison. He volunteered to go in.
So you're saying that Charles Manson came from this group, the Illuma?
He's one of the most powerful wizards alive today.
Okay. And
there's so much basic knowledge out there about adrenochrome, and yet, I mean, I talk to people on a regular basis, and I'm like, hey, adrenochrome is, adrenaline in the blood, usually induced by fear, usually in children. Nobody cares. Everybody's so dumbed down by fluoridated water and all the crap that they eat and everything else. Nobody cares. But again, we have old footage talking about something that should be relevant that, once again, is not as relevant as it should be. That's all I'm saying.
The truth must come out, no more hidden history. Unveiling the secrets, exposing all the mystery. The meltology masters will rise and shine to dismantle the web of deceit that's so divine. Revealing the past, unveiling the lies. The truth must come out, no more hidden history. Unveiling the secrets, exposing all the mystery. The meltology masters will rise and shine to dismantle the web of deceit that's so divine. Revealing the past, unveiling the lies. The truth must come out, no more hidden history.
It's over, you geologist. Methodology.
Melted buildings, melted rock, stuff buried in the ground, stuff built on top of the stuff buried in the ground is my favorite subject. Every time it comes up, I can't wait to talk about it. I try to tell people about it. I think people are actually starting to wake up. But how crazy is it that you can actually find buildings melted into rock, not built inside of it? Like, those basic questions like that, all you got to do is ask. And people won't ask. They look at it and go, well, that's not right, because my 3rd, 4th grade history class just really didn't talk about that. No, it can't be real.
What if I told you the movie Pirates of the Caribbean didn't just entertain, it revealed something ancient, something hidden? Look at the title. At World's End. You think that's a joke? They literally sail to the end of the known ocean, the edge. And then a frozen wasteland. Massive ice walls, a blizzard so thick it swallows everything. Tell me, does that sound like fantasy to you? Or maybe, just maybe, it's a symbolic reflection of the truth we're not supposed to see? They reach this untouched place beyond maps, beyond reason, a place many believe surrounds our known world, an ice barrier. And it doesn't stop there. Ice Age? Same thing. A group trapped inside a valley surrounded by a gigantic wall of ice. They think that's all there is. Sound familiar? It's not storytelling. It's sneaky disclosure. Truth wrapped in fiction. Why? So when people like me talk about it, we sound insane. Clever, huh? But once you see it, truly see it, you realize it's everywhere. And the sad part? Most people would rather stay blind.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
I'm not gonna lie. I probably watched Pirates of the Caribbean probably 44 times or so, maybe. I didn't even realize there was an ice wall in it until it took a minute. Let's just put it that way. Love the ice wall stuff. I love the idea that we are trapped here like slaves, because it sure does feel that way, and that there's more on the outside because it looks that way. Great movies. If you haven't watched them, I would watch them, and I would definitely take a look at how they depict the ice wall and what they think it maybe looks like when you go over it, which don't quite concur with that part, but still pretty interesting.
The law of money is called the law of water. This is why, incidentally, the Statue of Liberty could not be put on American land. It was put in a harbor, because the Statue of Liberty is a maritime admiralty symbol. It's called the Statue of Liberty, not the Statue of Freedom. There's a world of difference between freedom and liberty. Liberty means you ask your father if you can use the car. If he says no, you don't use it. Liberty is what a sailor gets when he pulls into harbor. He asks the captain if he can leave. If the captain says yes, and he most likely is not going to, but if he says yes, that means you have the liberty. You pull liberty. You don't have freedom. America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave. We're ill-informed, entertained, and totally ignorant to the powers that be on this earth and how it works. Let me give you an example of how the law of water works. When you go into a court, why do you have to go to court? As I said, you play tennis and basketball on a court. The whole idea in a court is to put the ball back in the other guy's court. So consequently, this team stands up and throws the ball at that team, and that team stands up and throws the ball back over there, and the judge sits here, and that's what he is, a judge. He's the referee. He doesn't care who wins or loses. Somebody's going to pay, and he's going to get paid, so he doesn't care who wins or loses. He's only there to make sure that the game is played correctly. It's called commerce, because the whole world is commerce. Look up the word commerce in a law dictionary, it'll tell you sexual intercourse. Marriage is a partner. Partner is a term that's used in business. If your business with your partner doesn't work out, you're not going to God, you're going to court. Bring your check and your house and all your property with you, because it's just business, nothing personal.
The truth is hidden in plain sight, and this is how they hide everything. If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, if you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, if you want to know who controls the world, this ebook will literally unveil that to you, and ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
I'm thinking maybe I should have been a lawyer. Learning legalese and all that good stuff, I think it would probably been really cool to know, probably useful. That guy's name is Jordan Maxwell. He has a lot of content out there, a lot of old footage, a lot of stuff that nobody talks about. It's actually kind of how I got started in conspiracy stuff a while back. I would check him out for sure. I'm thinking maybe I should have been a lawyer. Learning legalese and all that good stuff, I think it would probably been really cool to know, probably useful. That guy's name is Jordan Maxwell. He has a lot of content out there, a lot of old footage, a lot of stuff that nobody talks about. It's actually kind of how I got started in conspiracy stuff a while back. I would check him out for sure.
Hollywood literally hides subliminal messages in movies to see if you will notice. Do you remember that movie Limitless, where the guy takes a pill and he can access 100% of his brain power? It's not science fiction. The real world counterpart actually exists.
Most people, especially young people, probably don't realize that they're walking around right now at about 55%, maybe 60% of their true state of normal. There is a nutrient, an amino acid, a substrate, a compound, an element missing from their body that if they knew what it was, would make the difference between them being an average person and being a superhuman.
If you haven't heard, celebrities like Joe Rogan have leaked what this stuff is.
People about some stuff that I have no affiliation with. Neurogum is one of them. We always keep Neurogum in the studio.
Can I have a packet of Neurogum when I leave?
We should get some more. We're probably running dry. Yeah. We go through 4 or 5 fucking boxes of that stuff.
And Neurogum really works?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh wow.
It's got theanine in it and caffeine and a couple other things. And what it does is it enhances your memory. It enhances your brain's ability to form sentences. And
whoa. So he's talking about this stuff, Neurogum. And when you chew it, fucking be ready. The combination of caffeine and L-theanine can immediately put you into a flow state. You know that feeling where you're totally locked in and you get a ton of stuff done in that day? It's like having that in your back pocket. What's great about it is there's no jitteriness like energy drinks get. It's just a smooth focus. The only problem is they're doing one restock for the entire holiday. So if you want to grab some and you see the link down here, go and grab it while you can.
I have wanted to try Neurogum. Never bought it. As far as the supplements wise, I would say he's probably completely on point with that, but you got to be careful with supplements. You have to eat right, drink water. I mean, I was on a bunch of supplements probably a year ago, just trying to figure out what would work, what would make me feel better, all that good stuff. My liver enzymes were off the charts. So as much as he's right, you also have to pay attention to your body and what it can and can't handle. That's a good way to look at it as well. But if anybody's got any good aminos out there or something like that for just natural energy that doesn't mess with your body that you know of, go ahead and shoot them my way, and I'll give them a try, and we'll see what happens.
Instead, the theory claims that during the 19th century, we occupied these cities after excavating them intact from underground, or they had been buried by a catastrophic natural disaster, often referred to as a mud flood. According to this theory, the older and more impressive parts of modern cities were built by a lost transoceanic Central Asian empire known as Tartaria, which supposedly ruled most of the world during a golden age of science and culture. We are now merely inhabitants of the ruins of their advanced civilization, largely ignorant of what truly lies beneath our feet. The mud flood theory has its origins in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, gaining traction on internet forums and social media platforms. Proponents of the theory point to architectural anomalies, such as buildings with windows and doors below ground level, as evidence of a buried past, They argue that these features suggest entire structures were covered by mud.
Look at old pictures of buildings, and you see layers. Layers and layers and layers. We are at the top layer. Here we are right now at the top layer, right here. This is us. And the earth runs layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers deep. This is kind of like when you go out in Spain and you go to Ibiza. Most people don't know that Ibiza has tunnels underneath it that connect to Europe and all the way to the Middle East and all the way to Africa. So now the question is when you start to ask that question, what time frame are we on? Can you tell me it's 2024? But when you think of these layers of every single one, you have to sit there and think, okay, well, how long did that take to create? How long did that take to craft? Did they use some technology so they could drill perfectly big holes underneath the earth? I mean, even like you go to Bosnian pyramids, they got tunnels that they're still going through right now. There's multiple levels below the pyramids. And it's interesting because they tell him that they're not pyramids, which is fascinating because they are pyramids. But once again, when you get back into the education system, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, JP Morgan, you see why those aren't pyramids? You see why there's no funding? Because why would bankers fund something to counter their narrative? Why would bankers fund something to counter the money that they're making on petroleum and oil and natural gas and all the other unlimited resources that we have? If they funded the counter to their narrative, they wouldn't make any money because they're always trying to make a tax. Think about all your taxes. Income tax, property tax, sales tax, business tax, flying on an airplane tax, going to the grocery store tax, maybe buying some clothing. Bankers, 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 bankers. If the bankers who own the education system taught people that that was a scam, then they wouldn't make the money.
I'm not allowed to say certain things, but our world has more secrets than you think. Read our book, link in profile bio.
I genuinely love nothing more than to talk about mud flood, Tartaria, buildings halfway underground, stuff being dug up, stuff being built on top of other stuff. The archaeology aspects like that are insane when you actually start looking. The word founded doesn't mean built, okay? It means you found it. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to listen to stuff like that or even acknowledge that there are things out there that don't make sense according to the history that we're giving, especially the ones that we're being taught. And it's a rabbit hole I really love.
The happiest people are not always the most successful people, but they're the ones who serve the best. If you will help people get what they want, then you'll receive everything that you need in life.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me with the algorithm. I always like to end the day with a little bit more positivity. Last little video to kind of not be so negative about certain things. Make sure you treat people good. A lot of us need it out there right now. I'll see you next time.